Chuck Salamone, thanks for joining me today. One of the big topics in just about every industry, but certainly in the security industry, is training. Training for end users, training for installers. There's everybody's in need of training, and with the current environment, people have been really taking advantage of that opportunity to get more training. They're a little less mobile now than they were, and perhaps a little bit more time at a desk to be able to take some classes. So thanks for jumping in to talk about what Bosch is doing in the training department. You guys have just done a phenomenal job, I think, of adjusting what you deliver, your ability to listen to customers and find out what they need during this environment. How are things going on your end? You're making it look smooth, but I'm sure it's been a challenge for you as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Matt. Yeah, it's really a great opportunity for me to talk to you today about this. Here at Bosch, we take a lot of pride, obviously, in what we deliver, especially when it comes to training. And, the whole training environment since the pandemic has obviously changed, right? And for good reason. In 2019, we had some great momentum and we were going, the way that we thought everything should go. And we had some really good feedback on a lot of our classes at that time. And then, of course, March of 2020 hit, right? And everything got flipped upside down, right? And I think that was for everyone, and especially in the training and education arenas, right? And so, a lot of people were just stopped completely, right? All of the face-to-face classes that we had scheduled throughout the year and into even mid-year 2020 were just blatantly canceled. So we had to really find another opportunity to retool and refocus what we already had, and kind of help that momentum to keep going, right? And so, luckily in our department, we had talked about virtual classes ahead of time, and we had already started some production of video and intrusion and some others that we were doing virtually. And so we built upon that, and we really started to carry that forward, in the April and May months of 2020. So it was quite a 180, to be honest with you. But like I said, we had a lot to go on, and we built from what we had. And I think that was what was asked of everybody at that time, right? You had to start doing more with less resources. And we certainly did that. One of our biggest challenges during that time was not just putting the content together in an effective manner virtually, but really getting that customer acceptance. Because our customer base was basically used to face, right? And so having them say, well, okay, I'll try your virtual, was really one of our biggest challenges. And I think, the marketing side of that helped a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure, they needed to be in a position to be able to accept the method of delivery, right? The old acceptance was, I'll put somebody in a vehicle and drive them to your facility, fly in, whatever it was. And now the ability to accept your delivery method electronically was a challenge for a lot of people. I mean, that's, it's no secret to anyone that has tried to learn how to use Zoom or Teams or whatever to try to communicate that didn't have to do that before.
Sure. Yeah, and that was another large challenge, right? The technological side of things. Not only on the delivery side, but also on the customer side, right? So getting them used to the platform and getting them used to being on camera and having good audio and having good internet and all of the above, right? Just a really large challenge getting a lot of people into that type of atmosphere and getting comfortable with it, and being able to learn in that type of environment, right?
So talk to me about probably one of the biggest shifts other than the delivery method is the hands-on component to this. In your list of responsibilities for classes, you have, IP video surveillance, fire detection, now a new access management system, access control system. So you have these, and of course the tried and true G series and B series training. All of these are very hands-on classes that you all offer. How have you shifted gears and managed to keep people, keep attendees, hands-on from a virtual perspective?
Yeah, that was like super important for us to continue that because, again, knowing the kinesthetic learner and knowing that hands-on is just an integral part of them burning that into their brains and being able to carry that forward, we had to, figure out a way of extending that in the virtual environment. And, it was easy in class, right? In class, you've got the Bosch facility. It's completely outfitted with all the latest and greatest. The trainer is there. Everything is working. And in the virtual environment, we basically went into nothing, right? And so now we've got these customers out there that still need their certifications and still require that hands-on experience to get that learning embedded. And we had to figure out a way of how to do that. And so, we had some success in the past with G Series and leveraging a training kit, right? Especially for private classes. And so we started to look at that and we said, okay, what makes the most sense? In the video realm, it's a little bit easier for people to actually remote in to our trainers' labs and be able to get that hands-on experience without having the equipment right there in front of them. But that's not so much the case when you get into intrusion and fire and even access control. So what we did is we looked at, how can we very quickly put together some kits for these virtual sessions and then have those be your hands-on when you're remoted, right? And I think that made the most sense. And, Matt, we've got a year's worth of data that tells us virtual works when it's done right.
Yeah.
And part of that is keeping that hands-on experience.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not engaged, it's not going to work. Once you lose me and we're just having a conversation, I'm lost for good. But with some, okay, no, go back, hit this on the keypad, reconnect this cable, whatever it is that needs to happen is going to keep that process moving forward, right?
Yeah. And, again, it's even hyper-focused in the virtual realm, right? In the virtual realm, you really have to have that engagement and keeping the attention of the participant because there's so many other distractions that are, at them in that moment, right? They're thinking about, well, what do I have to do with the kids later when they get home and or if they're already home or what emails do I need to take care of? What else can I be doing while I'm sitting in this virtual class doing training? And what we really focused on was, we have to make sure that we're engaging these people in this virtual environment and making them dedicate the time that it takes to learning, because that's what they're really there for, right? And so by doing, by having the kits offered up in virtual classes, it totally made sense. Not only does it help with that engagement, but they've got the practice and the mindset right there in class so that they can utilize that equipment, ask questions to the trainers, make mistakes, right? Because we learn from those types of mistakes. And we really wanted to keep that in a virtual class.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea, you don't want to make the mistake at the customer site. Not only is it embarrassing, but now their system's not running properly. So, that's what the class is all about. So now we have these kits for G Series class, the fire detection system class, access management system, and then for video surveillance, they're remoting in. So that's fantastic. Do you see in-person coming back soon, or is that a wait and see, or what's the stance? What's the forecast for Bosch?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer, right? And with vaccines ramping up and with us getting back into the field and getting back to normal a little bit, we are seeing an increase in private requests, right? So we are doing more and more of those as time goes on.
What is that? What do you mean by a private request?
Yeah. So we actually offer a trainer to come out to your location and train on site, right? And that's a very popular option, especially for those that have many people in the same location, and you're still needing that certification, and you still like and want that face-to-face interaction with a trainer. Of course, we're following all the Bosch protocol and CDC and guidelines and everything else, keeping it safe, when we do so. But that is we're seeing increasing opportunities there as we start to, get the country back to normal.
So we talked about a virtual class. If Matt wants to learn more about G Series, just as an example, I can order a kit, do my hands-on virtually. Now you're talking about in-classroom private classes taking place. Is it still possible to do a private class that's virtual if a company doesn't want their staff, working together that close?
Yeah, it is. That's a great question, right? So normally, if we had you all in a single location, you typically could share the kit between two people, right? And that's usually what we did. When you're virtual and you're not in the same location, obviously we still want to promote that hands-on experience. And so we'd require each person to have a kit in front of them so that they continue that learning that way. So yeah, virtual can be done privately. And, a lot of people opt for that because of many reasons, right? The cost savings, the time savings, the ease of accessibility. I can have now a trainer that is now not restricted by geographic location.
Yeah.
Right.
Travel time.
And he's able to,
it's saving a lot of people time and money.
It is, right? That trainer is now able to service people on the East Coast and on the West Coast in the same class, right? Not only that, but we can also schedule more classes during a single week because we don't have to account for the travel time in between, right? So all of these are benefits to virtual. And
my assumption is, I believe I've seen some statistics on, I don't know if you want to call it pass rates or success rates. Are participants generally succeeding at the same rate virtually as they were in person? Or is there more remedial work that needs to happen? What is the result that Bosch is seeing there?
Yeah, that is a great question, right? Because you always want to look at what is my return on investment? Is it really worth it for me to send someone to a virtual class? And so overwhelmingly, we've seen, and Matt, let me preface this, we've done some hard looks at how we deliver virtually. And what I mean by that is typically in a face-to-face situation, a single trainer can manage a class of about 8 to 10 people effectively. In a virtual environment, that goes down to about half. So in a virtual class, we're really maximizing that class at about 4 people. And we're doing that purposefully to make sure that the people that are attending are getting the attention and the necessary engagement that they would need in a virtual environment. And because of that, I think we are also seeing high success rates. You're not just a number, right?
You can't hide in the back when there's only 4 people there.
And you can't hide, right? You just can't hide. Cameras on, can't hide, right? So yeah, we're seeing good success rates with that.
So to bring us to taking action, You recently, I think, coinciding with the pandemic, perhaps not on purpose, you were getting ready to launch a new interface for the learning management system. Can you talk a little bit about? I'm going to throw rapid fire questions at you just so you can so you can answer away. But can you talk about the number one, where somebody goes to get the training, what the URL is, what the improvements are in the new software system that you've deployed to register and show the catalog of classes and all those things. And perhaps you could give us either your most popular class that people are attending, your best kept secret, what's new. Go into a little bit about what people are going to experience when they log in and create an account.
Sure. Yeah. One of the pain points that we saw coming up even before the pandemic was navigation of our academy, right? And we've done many improvements over the years to try to make that better, but I think the pandemic even gave us a bigger opportunity to actually completely shift our platform. And so that's what we've done. And people can access that right through our website, boschsecurity.com, or they can go directly to academy.boschsecurity.com. And, the main focus of shifting that platform for us was ease of use. Bottom line, we wanted people to have a good experience when they first get into training, and this is their first touch point with us, right? Getting online and looking at what's available to them in the self-paced online environment, right? And so we had to take a look at, okay, what are some things that we can do to make that user experience better? So what we've done is we've changed up how this looks to the customer. And we've also looked at, ease of navigation. How can you find courses easier? How can you know what trainings you've registered for and what other trainings you need to take? We've looked at how we can inform people better of new courses coming out and how we can recommend courses to you based on your previous experience. So I think all of these things combined really help with the user experience of the new platform. You asked me, what are some of our most popular classes? So, certification is really at the heart of what we do. And so many of our certification tracks are our most popular options. Of course, G Series, BVMS expert level, the AMS now expert and master, as well as video analytics and some other things, right? So all of these courses are really, I would say, are highlights, and they really take a installer or a technician from very basic information to much more complex information and being able to really do the job that they're intended to do with our products.
You have these certifications, but what you alluded to is that there's something that's also not a certification.
There is, yeah. We offer, so just to give you an idea, right? During the pandemic, industry-wide, there was about a 70% increase demand for online learning. No shock there, right? People couldn't get into the classrooms, and they still needed to learn and get the information that they need to do their jobs more effectively. And they're looking for it online, right? So yes, we have many other courses that are available through the Bosch Training Academy, where you can just go on at your own pace and take those classes free of charge, and be able to learn about a specific topic or subject that, again, might help you on a project in an upcoming, application that you're using, or a brand new product that has just come out and you want to learn more about that. So all of that is opportunities that you can go and look at right on the Bosch Academy.
And I have to admit, when I went and checked out the new platform, I was really surprised to see classes that perhaps aren't as technical. There's some offerings that give you a good overview if you're at an end user or salesperson level, or you're even in the distribution part of our business, that really give you a good understanding of what the systems are, what problems they solve, how they're implemented a little bit, but not how they're programmed. So I thought that was pretty exciting to really expand on who your customer as a training department actually is.
Yeah, and that was a hole that we saw in our portfolio, right? It was something that we didn't have a lot of, so we amped up our commercial-based training for a lot of the product lines so that we could get more information out to those end users and even out to the sales and other distribution partners that we have, so that they could learn more about what Bosch has to offer.
So at the end of the day, somebody's got to sign up to become to have an account in the academy. Can you just walk through real quick what the process is for signing up, and then for actually going? Like, is there a catalog? Is it easy to do? And then, of course, people always want advice or a pro tip or need a hand, and how do they get assistance with the training department?
Yeah. So sign up is very easy. You can actually go on Bosch, again, the academy.boschsecurity.com, and you can sign up right there. We also have a register option on the Bosch Security main website, and we can sign up through there as well. And it's really just creating your personal information through your account and creating a password, right? And with that, you actually have immediate access to the online content. And if you needed some help with that, right, we have an inbox that you can email. It's training@us.bosch.com. And the simplest way is just to email us at that email address, and we will walk you through and assist you in getting that account set up.
Okay. And I assume that applies for account setup, class registration, and if you need, if the class that you're selecting requires a kit, that you'll be able to help them navigate through that process of placing the order for the equipment and directing that process, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. All of that happens through that.
Okay. Chuck, I planned to talk to you for 5 minutes, and I think we ended at about 30, so I appreciate this is really important information, and it's rare that we get a behind-the-scenes opportunity to talk to the person in charge of this department. So I appreciate it. You clarified a lot of things for me, and hopefully for some folks that we're partnered with that are viewing this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt.